Started out alive, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing loss to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. New Zealand's vibes, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling, rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Tracking crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Script how we play a game. From start to next time, chasing fame. With you behind me, changing scenes. So through the internet, living out the drink of my acoustic strum. Curing it chill for cracking jokes. Let's fuck the thrill. In the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our streams phone, no better days. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle wine.
Hello, the internet. It is Friday, the 17th of October, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. Got myself a little medical result here. My free bowel screening test results are here, and I am concerned a little concerned. They may be good, they may be bad. Let's open them live on stream and let's count our blessings or consider our woes together. That's my plan here on the stream. This is from Sonic Healthcare. This came yesterday. So this is in relation to me submitting my poo through the mail. I did a stream where I talked about having to poop on a stick, and I popped it in the mailbox. There was some controversy in the chat. Netskis believes that that is the government trying to get my DNA. To which I would say, don't they already have it? I was born in a hospital. Then they have taken it then if they're going to take it. Anyway, I don't really care who's got my DNA. If you want to make two of me, that's on you. But either way, this in my hand here will inform me whether I have a positive outcome. Wait, you want this to be negative. In this case, the negative is the good thing. You don't want a positive result. I want this to say negative. So, shall we open it? I'll have to just cover up some things here, but I will open it here on stream so that there's no chance that I'm whatever, like I'm winning the lotto or anything. I'll just redact my address here. Get that off there. So here it is. You saw it before I did. Dear Benon, Julius, William, Otto, Curbs, results notification. Thank you for taking part in the National Bowel Cancer Screening Program /DNA grab by returning your samples for testing. I added that little DNA grab part to be silly. Your test result is negative. This means blood was not found in your poo. It actually says samples, but I'm saying poo to be funny. There was no blood in my poo. This test result does not mean that you do not have or can never develop bowel cancer, so please complete a test every 2 years. All this test does is give us your DNA at this juncture. Okay. I added that bit in, of course. Even after a negative test result, it is important to see your doctor if you experience symptoms or have concerns about bowel cancer or your bowel habits. I have been doing a little bit of diarrhea lately. If you nominated a doctor or medical practice on the form you sent in, which I did, your test results will also be sent to them. Yo, Netsky's doing DNA being the key word. How you doing, man? If you have any questions, visit health.gov.dnagrab.au. Of course, I'm being silly. This result is good. This says I do not have any blood in my poo. No symptoms of bowel cancer. In this juncture, I can take that and shove it. I'm clear. I'm clean. I'm celebrating good times. Yes, we need a party. We got a party. Well, that was a bad trumpet. We want a good trumpet. We need a good trumpet. Yeah, but I guess Netsky's, this is just the conversation we had last time. You kind of came in saying, don't do it. They're taking your DNA. Don't do it. What if that result was positive? What if that result said to me, we found blood in your poop. That's the symptom of bowel cancer. If you don't do something now, you could die. I don't know if I'd be that contented with that. So I'm happy I've done it. And from here on in, we'll do it every 2 years. They will send me a reminder saying, by the way, time to poop on a stick again. And we'll go from there. So in that regard, today on the stream, we've got good news. Oh, by the way, I got some skin cancers zapped today. I'll show you that. How can I show it to you? Take that off. Got a little scrape. What do they call it? A shave biopsy here. Another shave biopsy on my upper back, and then 2 other areas of content that were nitric oxide, nitric something. They squirted it with a cold gun, and they just went, that's done. They, the doctor. By the way, I don't mind explaining this, but today was the first time I've been completely naked in a doctor's theatre for a long time. Actually, holy shit. When will be the last time I was like, I'm talking no clothes on at all? I reckon the last time I would have done that would have been before adolescence. No. That's not true. I once had there's a word for it. Twisted balls. I can't remember the medical term for it, but one time the girl I was dating I hadn't seen for a while, and we were making up for lost time, and I almost broke something, and I had to go and get my balls sorted. So other than that, today I was completely naked in the doctor's surgery, including with a young female nurse. Don't know about that, but that's the way it was. And the doctor, it's kind of cool. Interesting. I mean, it's not kind of cool. I'm just saying it's like, it's there. You're not there for anything aside from medical, right? But it's like, all right, here I am. Did a full skin check, and the doctor's like, I'm in my underwear, and the doctor goes, well, full skin check means full. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'll take them off. I'm not shameful. I'll take them off. Took them off, lay there on my stomach. I do natural remedies. So hang on, Netsky's. Oh, okay. So you're saying that you would inspect your own poo for blood. You'd check for blood, and if you saw blood in your poo, you'd take natural remedies. That's fair. I'm doing a melanoma in the last few weeks with bloodroot cream. Bloodroot cream. Wow, I kind of don't want to use my ex for this. I'm going to go to Google. Don't tell Sophia. What is bloodroot root cream. I'm not used to going back to the Google machine. I just wanted summary. I don't want to have to go and click shit. It's very powerful stuff. Pulls the roots out of it. Okay, so bloodroot is used as a treatment for skin conditions such as acne, echinacea. No. What's that word? Eczema. I want to say as eczema. Ah, man, what's this one? And Psoria. That looks like oasis. Psoriasis. And to reduce or debride. Debride means to reduce. Debride. I'm going to debride you on my wedding night. I'm going to reduce you to debride skin growths such as warts, moles, and benign tumors. Okay. Well, I'm happy for you to use that. It's very powerful stuff. Yeah, look, I mean, today we zapped mine with a gun, a cold air gun or something, nitrous oxide gun or something, and there's no pain. There was a little bit of pain in this one. This one here, you can't really see, but it's on my collarbone. I can show you on this side more clearly. So the collarbone protrudes up a little. You can see it there. And on my left-hand side is where the strap for my guitar goes. And one year I had a really shitty, cheap fucking Coles New World guitar strap, and it dug into my, like whenever I'd play with my shirt off, it dug into my bone. And I always thought that's how I created whatever that was, but no, turns out it's a suspected BCC, squamous cell BCC. Funny, it's in the same place as yours. Is that right? Well, these ones down here, there's nothing here, but on the nape of my neck, when I was in Tasmania with Sophia, we do a thing. We got a thing. We got a few things, but one thing that we do is like kind of, it's pretty cute. We do a little grooming. Actually, it's you know what? She's not let me do her yet. It's been twice on me. We do this thing where she grooms me. Like she gets out of like a magnifying glass and tweezers, and one time she got a little scalpel out and cut some skin tags off my balls. I'm not kidding. We actually did do that. Wait, they're on my pecker. I think balls and shaft. There was skin tags. Oh wait, no, just ballses. I think. Anyway, it's a cute little thing that we do. I think we're going to have to flip it around though. Next time I'm down there, I'm going to be doing the little investigating myself. She's pulling out ingrown hairs and plucking out blackheads and going to town on my back and having too much fun pulling out hairs out of my balls. I'm just saying. I mean, that is super painful. But anyway, one time she's down there, or no, this was up top, and she's up top and she's like, man, there's a whole bunch of blackhead, like she called it a cluster of blackheads. And it looks a little bit, she wasn't saying they are blackheads, but she was saying there's a cluster of things that look like blackheads. I don't know what they are. That's something you got to get checked. And the doctor told me, I'll tell you because I wrote it down. Hope I kept it. Yeah. Okay. So the front of the chest under my throat, which is just here, and in the middle of the back of my neck, it's a benign keratosis. Keratosis. No treatment needed. Benign keratosis. Google, what is a benign keratosis? This is what I want, the AI overview. Benign keratoses refer to common non-cancerous skin growths, most often seborrheic keratoses, which appear as brown, black, or tan, waxy, or scaly patches. That's what she was saying. They are harmless. They do not need treatment unless they become irritated or cosmetically undesirable, and are most common in older adults, check off, though they can be found on anyone. So that's what that was. But then the other ones on my back, there were two areas of benign actinic keratosis that needed to be frozen off, and one on the back of my neck. And I took a photo. Let me just show what these are for. Let me find out what these are. Benign actinic actinic, actinic. Benign actinic keratosis is a contradiction. Huh? What? This is literally what he told me it was. Because actinic keratosis is a precancerous lesion, not a benign one. Okay, now I'm confused. Unless I typed this, I mean, the chances are that I typed it down wrong, but I thought this is what he said. It's a rough, scaly patch on the skin caused by years of sun exposure that can potentially develop into a more serious form of skin cancer called a squamous cell carcinoma, SCC, if left untreated. That's the gnarly one. You want the BCC, the benign basal cell carcinoma. So there's two of those, and they got frozen off. And I'll show you the pictures of the freeze off. Oh, I got to be careful because there's a really fucking amazing photo Sophia sent me today. Oh, I really wish I could show this to you. She's so pretty in this photo. Wow. She told me she had to get her license transferred to Tasmania and she wanted to look good. And my God, I mean, she's absolutely stunning in this photograph. So here is the photograph of the after effect of the cold air gun. So that's what it looks like on the back of my neck. It looks like a mosquito bite. I got another one for you. Oh, sweesh. I'm just responding to a message from my spicy little nugget. That's a record. And then the other one it's the same thing, but it's in a different spot. And it's right. Well, I can probably show you that one. Actually, we should do an update because there's two things that you can see on this image. The first thing you can see is let me zoom skis in on that. The first thing is obviously the, what do they call that? The dressing. And that's because the thing that's got the dressing underneath it was a shave biopsy. And the thing above it is another one of those cold air gun. So this cold air gun, this cold air blast will scab up. He said that's going to form into a sore, a scab. That's natural or normal. And so the other thing was the left clavicle collarbone, a pigmented BCC shave biopsy on the right trapezius also. So and I got to go back into the results of that and find out more than likely that one will have to be cut out and the one on my back of my trapezium will have to be cut out. So that's fun and games, living in the moment. Life's a subtle rhyme. So it does raise a question though, and Sophia asked me, she said in a message, she said, we spend so much time messaging. She said, did the doctor say anything about why you seem to be so prone to developing BCCs or what you can do to lower the likelihood of developing more in the future? She's so smart with this shit. She's not just a pretty face. She's a very pretty face, but she's not just that. Wow. I set that photo to my wallpaper of text messages, and whenever I get a message from her, far out, that's beautiful. In other interesting news, while sitting naked in the doctor's surgery, I was asking the nurse, or I was talking to the nurse, and did you know that a SCC, a squamous cell carcinoma, is what killed Bob Marley? He had one under his toenail. Am I calling bullshit on that? What killed Bob Marley? I didn't know this, and I know a lot about music. What killed Bob Marley? Melanoma. Legendary Jamaican singer, musician, and songwriter Bob Marley, he died of melanoma in 81. Okay, but I want more deets. See, this is where I'm going to need to use my X here. Sorry, current, I'm going to need my X. I mean, at this instance, like I could Google it, but it's way quicker just to do it this way. Sorry, don't tell Sophia. Shh, she's not here today. She's busy. What actually killed Bob Marley? I spelled it wrong. It'll still find it quickly. A skin cancer called an acral lentiginous melanoma. Lentiginous. Okay, it sounds like someone makes that up, but lentiginous melanoma. Yo, Just Rev, how you doing? The CIA. Well, shit me. Conspiracy theory. Wait a second. Are you? I'm just being frank. Are you genuine about that? Did the CIA kill Bob Marley? I mean, I'm down for a conspiracy. I've never heard that one before. Here's what actually happened step by step. On a misty morning in July 1977, Marley discovered a dark spot under his toenail. At first, he thought it was an old soccer injury. The diagnosis, doctors found it was an acral lentiginous melanoma, a rare but aggressive form of skin cancer, typically appears on the soles of the feet, palms, or under the nails, and it is not related to sun exposure. You believe that the CIA gave him the cancer. Holy shit. I mean, fair enough. You can believe what you will. Wow. The CIA gave Bob Marley skin cancer. What's their motive again? Treatment. The doctors advised amputating the toe to stop the spread, but Marley refused due to Rastafarian beliefs. The faith discourages cutting the body. Instead, he had a less aggressive procedure to remove the nail and some tissue. Wow. The cancer eventually spread, metastasized to his brain, lungs, and liver. Holy fuck. So in 1977, he first saw it, and by 1981, he was dead at 36 years of age. 36 years of old age. I'm trying to say age and old at the same time. His final words to his son were, "Money can't buy life." No shit. Why did you think it could? Some people mythologize his death, blaming conspiracies or political enemies. Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm hearing right now. I'm hearing that that some people believe the CIA gave him the cancer. Anything to this? That theory's been around for decades, but there's no credible evidence to support it. Here's the background and why it persists. In the 70s, Jamaica was in a political turmoil. Bob Marley was seen as a unifying figure, but also as someone whose message leaned towards peace, equality, and empowerment of poor black Jamaicans, which some saw as politically leftist. At the time, the US, via the CIA, was known to interfere in Caribbean and Latin American politics to counter leftist movements. Because of that, people speculated that the CIA viewed Marley as a potential political threat or influence. There was a real assassination attempt. What? Are you okay? Anton Gibbs, are you okay? I'm fine. There was a real assassination attempt in December of 1976, days before his Smile Jamaica concert. Gunmen shot him, his wife, and his manager, but Marley survived. Rumours linked the attack to political groups, alleged supporters. The cancer shoe story. One of the wilder claims came from a man named Carl Colby, son of former CIA director William Colby. A self-described journalist claimed Colby gave Marley a pair of boots laced with a cancer-causing agent in 1976, and that Marley tried them on, prickling his toe. No way. That story appeared in conspiracy books and internet forums. However, there's no documentations, there's no photographs, there's no first-hand testimony, so it's just someone making it up. The supposed agent that could instantaneously induce melanoma from a prick does not exist, okay, even to this day. Marley's melanoma was biologically consistent with a naturally occurring acral lentiginous melanoma, not chemically induced. I mean, I don't know, Just Rev, I don't know if you want to just ignore those 3 points or not. I don't know if you believe it. Did you say you believe it? Yeah, you said, I believe they gave him cancer. So you believe that the CIA did this, even though there's no evidence, there's no documentation, there's no photographs, and there's zero first-hand testimony. And the agent that they say that they put in his shoe doesn't even exist. Even 20 years later, 30 years later, 40, 50 years later. Fuck, man, this was in 76. It's 50 years since then. They still haven't got that agent. They put cancer into vaccines. Now, hold on. Into his vaccines or in general? Let's keep this conspiracy about Robert Marley. Let's not stretch the conspiracy into whatever you damn well please. Let's keep it specific to the one that we're dealing with. Look up the book Dr. Mary's Monkey. Let me ask, what about the book Dr. Mary's Monkey? Dr. Mary's Monkey is where a lot of the CIA gave someone cancer type of theories get their fuel from. It's a conspiracy theory book, not a verified historical or scientific source. Here is a breakdown of what it is and how very loosely it gets connected to Bob Marley. The author is Edward T. Haslam, first published in 2007. Main claim, Dr. Mary Sherman. The main claim is that a Dr. Mary Sherman, a New Orleans cancer researcher, was murdered in 1964. He was secretly working with the CIA and Dr. Altone Oshner on a project to develop cancer-causing viruses that could be used as biological weapons, allegedly tied to the JFK assassination and the anti-Castro operations. Okay, sort of reaching a lot there. The book tries to link polio vaccine contamination, the S40 virus. So that's what Just Rev said. S40 is a cancer-causing gene. Okay, we'll fact check that as well. The book tries to link that S40 virus to the polio vaccine contamination. A supposed secret CIA bioweapons lab in New Orleans. Lee Harvey Oswald, yes, that one. And a mysterious cancer weapon. I mean, okay. Fans of this work extrapolate, if the CIA had cancer-causing technology in the 60s, maybe they used it on a political targets later, like Bob Marley, okay? But here's the issue. The book's cancer weapon claims are completely unsubstantiated. No lab records, no credible witness, and no physical evidence. So again, just someone deciding it might have been a thing. Dr. Mary Sherman's death was tragic and strange, but officially investigated and not linked to any secret program. The alleged cancer weapon, this is the S40, would require genetic and viral engineering tech decades more advanced than what existed at the time. Here's what real scientists say. Cancer isn't contagious within humans. Viruses can contribute to some cancers, like HPV. There is no mechanism to inject or give someone melanoma and have it behave the way Bob Marley's did. His melanoma is not even associated with viral causes. It's a spontaneous genetic mutation in skin cells. Why this story persists. It combines real historical context, the CIA operations, Cold War paranoia, vaccine controversies, and unsolved mysteries. That makes it emotionally compelling and it feels possible. But without verifiable evidence, which is pretty key, I'll read that again. But without verifiable evidence, it remains speculative fiction presented as investigative history. So you can choose to believe it. Oh, we're going to talk about the S40, right? Is S40 a cancer-causing gene? SV40, not really. The reality is more nuanced. Here's a clear breakdown. SV40, simian virus 40, is a polyomavirus. Polyomavirus. A polyomavirus, I want to say virus twice, a polyomavirus originally found in monkeys. It accidentally contaminated some polio vaccines in the late 50s and early 60s. Millions of people were exposed. So this got into vaccinations. Okay, that's sketch. In lab studies, SV40 can cause tumors in certain animals such as hamsters and can transform human cells in a culture, which is the dish that they do all their tests in, which means it can disrupt normal cell growth. Okay. So in that regard, it is a cancer-causing gene, virus. Right? If it can transform, if it can cause tumors in animals and can transform human cells, modify, that's potential for a cancer, right? SV40 and human cancer. SV40 has oncogenes, genes that can interfere with tumor suppressor proteins like P53 and RB, potentially allowing cells to grow uncontrollably. Okay. But epidemiological studies in humans have not shown a clear causal link between SV40 exposure and human cancers. So the key takeaway here from what I understand is there's potential for it to transform human cells. Studies have not shown the causal links though. So there's no clear causal link. Because something can do something doesn't mean it did do something. Scientists will study to work out what did the thing. They're saying they have not shown a clear causal link. Studies have never been done. Well, it says here, epidemiological studies in humans. Now, let me remind you, I'm drawing this from the same internet you do. So make that clear. I'm drawing this information from the same internet that you get your information from. Now, I know you're going to say, ChatGPT's biased. Some studies found traces of SV40 DNA in certain tumors. Okay, blah, blah, bling, blang, blang. Other studies failed to replicate these. So there's been lots of studies, dude. Studies can't show something when they never do the studies. Dude, are you arguing that these studies don't exist? There's studies listed here, and I'm sure they'll give references. Can you give references? Can you give references to those studies? Certainly, here are several key studies and reviews that have investigated the potential link between simian virus and human cancers. The Lankan Oncology Review from 2003, the JAMA study on polio vaccine contamination from 95, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia vaccine ingredients, SV40, Frontiers in Oncology Review from 2019, Immunization Safety Review by the Institute of Medicine from 23, Association between SV40 and human tumors, 1999, SV40 and human cancer, 2004. Just Rev, I'm just going to tell you, dude. Look, bless you. You are obviously free to believe whatever you want, but just know everything that you said in my chat, I debunked within moments, just on a cursory glance on what some may argue is a biased internet, but it's the same internet that you have. So read them. I'm not reading those reviews, dude. You can read them if you want. You're, man. Look into the details. No, dude, I read what I needed to read for something that I'm not like. Okay, Bob Marley died from a melanoma under his toenail. You said the CIA gave it to him. I don't agree with that at all. And from what have we been live for? 38 minutes, probably 10 of that was the faff around the front. 28 minutes worth of cursory studying, cursory research. I found everything to debunk what you're saying. So for me, that means I'm out. I'm done with the research. I've got what I need to know. The CIA did not give Bob Marley melanoma. You believe what you want. I'm getting myself a homebrew. When we come back, Tabses, yeah.
first surf in a little while. That first wave might have been an indicator of how lame that was. I've been out of the water for about 3 weeks. Had a BCC cut out of my arm. That was my first excuse not to get wet. And then of course, rest in peace, this Mercury guy up on DY, great white shark, took him. Condolences to the family, which really frightened me, really scared me about surfing. And so I've been putting it off and off and off. And here I am, can't deny these waves. The waves are kind of nice. I've lost my fitness in my upper body. I'm out of breath from just that one wave, and I'm scared shitless. So watch me surf. I gotta do a poo. section.
Homebrew! Exclamation pour, exclamation drink in the Kick chat, not D-Live. We're going to move right along. We got some tabs up the wazoo here. What do we got first in the tab machine? I see Just Rev still, talking about the, yo, thanks, Dale. How you doing, man? Dale's in the house. I see, some extra conversation about that, waiting for Gibbs to come back. What happened on DLive? Am I not live on DLive? Davo, am I not live on DLive? What happened? Did DLive go off? It's playing a rerun. Okay, I'll just stop it and start it again. Why did DLive go down? I'm just going to stop it and start it on DLive. It went off on DLive. That's not surprising. Okay, I don't know what's going on with DLive. I turned it off and back on again, and we'll see if it comes back. I didn't do anything. I didn't do a thing. I'm just streaming, and then you look up and one of the platforms is off. You know it's not off? This homebrew, and I'm looking forward to inhaling it. Good timing, Dale. Thank you, man. Exclamation pour. Let's move right along, though. Here is a NASA issued a chilling alert about the moon. It did now? What's the chilling alert? What's the chilling alert? Shit.
We have to rewrite every single high school textbook on the planet Earth. The universe is not mainly made.
Has NASA seen something that they don't want us to know? Recently, NASA shocked viewers by dropping a bombshell about our moon that left scientists speechless.
Speechless.
What did their latest scans reveal hidden beneath the lunar surface? The truth about what's up there.
No.
No.
Are you feeling frightened? No. No.
Might change everything we thought we knew. The shocking press conference that started it all. The science world is still reeling after.
Who did that? Netskis with the host. Yo, thanks, Netskis. Cheers, man.
After what happened last month. During what should have been a routine NASA press briefing about the Artemis moon program, renowned physicist Michio Kaku stunned everyone present. Normally composed and methodical, Kaku appeared visibly uncomfortable when asked about recent lunar scans. His usual confidence vanished as he carefully chose his words, telling reporters that certain findings require further investigation before public discussion.
They found a man on the moon? Who did that on DLive? Who did that on DLive? Daleski celebrating a 2-month substreak. Man, there is a lot of conversation on DLive right now. There's also new lemons. There's a change to the currency, isn't there? Something's changing on DLive, folks. But hello, everyone from DLive. I remember that place. Fondly. Play.
The room fell silent. NASA officials quickly redirected the conversation.
Diamonds
but the
and
damage
coins.
was done. Leaked footage shows Kaku being escorted from the stage by agency representatives after attempting to elaborate on a question about structural anomalies detected beneath the lunar surface. What exactly did he see in that data? Former NASA engineer Thomas Mitchell, who resigned from the agency last year, raised eyebrows when he tweeted that Kaku's reaction was entirely appropriate given what was found. The tweet was deleted within hours, but screenshots have circulated widely online. Science communicators who have worked with Kaku for decades.
Yo, Jason, are we on Kick Chat today? Yes, I'd encourage everybody to use the Kick Chat just because you can trigger alerts from the shop. There it is. Thank you, Dale. Exclamation shop. You click that link and it takes you to the shop where you can trigger your own alerts. And that's fun, isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Hello, MD Witt. How you doing?
Noted his abrupt cancellation of several scheduled TV appearances following the press conference, with one producer anonymously stating that Kaku cited personal obligations to review sensitive material as his reason for backing out. When Kaku finally reappeared 2 weeks later on a science podcast, Listeners noticed he avoided all moon-related questions, despite the host's repeated attempts to address the topic. No one expected what happened that Tuesday morning at NASA headquarters. Michio Kaku, the famous physicist we've seen smiling on TV shows.
This is reality.
Thank you. This is reality.
For years, walked into the room looking pale and tired. Reporters noticed right away something was wrong. This wasn't the calm, confident Kaku they knew. When questions...
Is this going to be a 30-minute video of just AI telling us the thing and just using generic footage, or are we actually going to hear from Kaku?
Turned to recent moon scans, the room temperature seemed to drop. Kaku's hands trembled slightly as he shuffled his notes. NASA officials exchanged worried glances. Instead of his usual clear explanations, Kaku gave short, careful answers, avoiding details about what the lunar orbiter had discovered. The real shock came...
Are you fucking going to drag this on, or are you going to actually tell us? This is bullshit. Okay, so this person says, once again, I must point out that this video...
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
Me too. This video could have been done in 10 minutes or less if you had not repeated yourself 3 or 4 times. How can you take this video at face value? They talk about someone at NASA named Thomas Mitchell. Okay, so... Yeah, okay, I can't watch this shit. It's just all... This is... You know what this is? This is the absolute epitome of fucking lousy YouTube. This is just AI garbage, and they're saying the same thing. You know what I did? I did a review video of a Jack Daniels product, and I put so many intentional glitches in it. That's my way of saying fuck you to the AI. I'm making a video where I'm intentionally glitching and doing it intentionally. That's what they're doing. They're doing it. They're disguising that they're doing it, and they're milking it for all of 33 minutes to tell us basically nothing. It's bullshit. Hey, I've got no time for it. Yeah, I got no time for it.
What a beautiful group of people you are. You are good. I wish I looked like you.
What a beautiful lot of people. Just Rev, watch this 120 minutes to learn something. That's not a video. That's just that's a link. That's a URL, dude. That's not a video. Watch this 120 minute. Unless you've got a link to something, and I guess that's going back to the conspiracy stuff. There's so much AI garbage on YouTube right now. MarkDice video, the new twist in the Charlie Kirk cover-up. There's a cover-up? Are you kidding me? There's a cover-up here? You got a 1 hour and 20 minute video that's going to prove the conspiracy that the CIA killed Bob Marley? Spare me. This is a...
Yesterday,
are you kidding me? There's a conspiracy theory that Charlie Kirk... Oh, man. Okay, well, let's take a look at it anyway.
Oh my God, look, yep. This is very not awesome.
Exactly.
FBI released more details, further confirming beyond a shadow of a doubt that the demonic entity who assassinated Charlie Kirk is a trans ally because his roommate is his transgender girlfriend who is supposedly cooperating with police, but I would be completely shocked if he, who goes by a she, of course the liberal media is going to respect her pronouns, if he is indicted as a co-conspirator or at the very least for obstruction of justice or perjury. There may not be enough evidence to get him as...
So hold on. Now this video is going to slam this assassin because he has a transgender partner. That's where we're going. Let's slam him for fucking assassinating someone. Let's not worry about what he did in his other time.
As a co-conspirator, I'm sure they're going through all of their messages, but if there's not enough evidence to catch him on that, then they will catch him in a lie. I find it completely unbelievable that the assassin did this all on his own without telling his girlfriend that he was going to do this. And you may recall that there were messages that the girlfriend...
I can't watch it. Sorry, dude. You might have a very valid point, but if you're going to slam his sexuality as opposed to what the thing...
Don't do that again.
Yeah, don't do that. Just get him for what he did, not because what he does in his own spare time. Spare me. What's this? Trump. Sorry, I scrolled down and it changed it. YouTube Shorts. This is what it was, wasn't it? Durbin demands answers.
Who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this, and you won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
I got
Mr. Chairman,
something here.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, since Senator Durbin referred to me, I would really appreciate the opportunity to correct the record.
Proceed.
Because Senator Durbin knows I repeatedly asked for those flight logs. I brought up the subpoena. You even shut down the committee because you didn't want that, and you know I submitted that in writing, and you continue to misrepresent that, and I am not going to let that record.
Who gave the order to fly?
Okay, so they're asking for the flight records. Okay. What's this? Tom Homan. I don't know what the hell the Biden admin was thinking. Okay.
A Senate hearing highlighting the dangers of unaccompanied children at the border. 4 people now charged in a very disturbing case, accused of pretending to be parents and sedating children with marijuana gummies. Brooke Taylor is following this bizarre story. She's in Dallas for us. Brooke?
Hi, John. Yeah, we have reported countless times on the hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children who crossed the border during the Biden administration, and then they were released to unvetted sponsors. Well, in this case, the smugglers went right through the...
I'm just going to open my door, turn the AC off.
Border Patrol checkpoints, pretended to be the parents, and also sedated the children. 2 U.S. citizens here and 2 Mexican nationals who are still wanted are charged right now in this smuggling scheme. Officials say that they smuggled children as young as 5 to 13 years old from Juarez, Mexico into the U.S. between May 2024 and October 2024. Pictures from court documents show the suspects at Border Patrol checkpoints posing as the children's parents by showing fake U.S. documents. The smugglers are accused of using gummies laced with marijuana to sedate these children. And in at least one case, a child was sent to the hospital.
We've seen everything from Benadryl to now these gummies being used to be able to sedate the children. And that way they're less likely to answer questions or provide anything that's going to be inconsistent or contrary to what the smuggler's saying.
Wow.
Court documents include text messages to the suspect translated to English. Quote, young lady,
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I have a boy 7 and 8.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing. So these people are smuggling children across the border and they're drugging them so that they don't spark up any... Wow. Australia has stricter border control laws than the US. Australia does have some pretty strict quarantine laws, that's for certain.
They are small. Another text says, quote, also, Fanny, I have 2 little girls ages 4 and 5. Proof of life pictures of some of the children were found on the suspect's phones. Special Agent Stevens says the parents trust the smugglers to deliver their children to family members in the U.S. despite the significant risks.
These children are nothing more than currency to the criminals and to the criminal organizations. And so for us, like, we want to ensure that we interdict this and stop this before they get here, because there are instances where we find children that are in stash houses.
And HSI El Paso says the smugglers were charging $900 per child. They're still investigating to see how many children were smuggled through this specific organization, John.
Yeah, we know that about 320,000 of them were lost track of. So we hope and we pray that they're okay. Brooke Taylor for us. Brooke, thank you. Sandra?
It's a lot of children going missing, folks. Crazy. Let's move on. Tesla full self-driving tested in Australia. Okay. Full self-driving. I didn't think we were allowed to do that in Australia.
Watch out, ducks!
Yep, we're blocking traffic. Okay, so it has realised that... Whoa! What the hell? It just tried to turn right across there. Okay, that's definitely not good. G'day, I'm Paul. So we are inside a Tesla Model Y, and today we're going to do full self-driving supervised here in Australia. Tesla is about to roll this out in Australia and New Zealand. We'll be the first right-hand drive markets. We're doing a drive loop in Brisbane that's going to take us from a sort of regional area into the city, and I want to see what it's like. I'm going to run you through how it works, the experiences I've had with this technology, some of the downsides, and then I'm going to deviate from their curated route here, which they don't know about yet, but we're going to go on the hunt for a Bunnings. So to start it, we went through the whole process of setting all this up. It is beta software that they're running in the cars here at the moment, but it will roll out shortly to all customers here in Australia with compatible cars. So
computers are known to crash, then the car will crash as well. No thanks. Okay, let me counteract that, Dale. Let me counteract that very easily. You know that they've got autopilot, right? Autopilot in the skies has existed for a long time. Just saying, you want to wind that back? Just saying, we've had autopilot in aircraft, and arguably aircraft crash way more severe than a car crash, right? Falling out of the sky, they've had autopilot forever. It works. Just saying. Just saying.
This has all been set up. We've gone through that whole process. To start our trip, we need to push and hold this, and then it says tap.
Conflating flying with driving is a false analogy. How so? How so? You said computers are known to crash, then the car will crash. The exact same thing could have been said. Computers are known to crash, then the plane will crash. Same thing. Computers, plane, computers, car, crash, crash. Same.
To confirm.
Just know you're wrong.
Okay, tap the key card here. Release pedal to confirm. Okay, here we go, it's starting. So full self-driving hasn't been in Australia before. So previously we've had enhanced autopilot, and I'm going to run you through what that experience was like, because I had that in my previous Model Y. And this is interesting because in theory I have to still have full control of the car, and that means having my hands and feet at the ready here. So if anything does go wrong, I'm going to...
Netskis, yeah, but there aren't that many planes on the highway. This is a good point. If you were going to counteract it, that's a great point. There aren't that many planes flying in close proximity along, narrower strips of air. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, obviously the technology will differ for self-driving vehicles than it does for planes, but plus it's 3 dimensions with elevations. Yeah, okay, there are other factors. However, compute power has gotten more powerful, more stronger, smaller, more affordable. Just saying.
Jam the brakes on, but I want to get an experience here of how this works. So we're already breaking the speed limit. Sign there says 40 and we're doing 45. There we go, it's slowing down now. It didn't recognise the speed earlier. So what we're going to do here is a route that runs through to the city in Brisbane. So it's going to be a mix of roads, but in theory I'm going to try and let the car drive as much as I can. And what we'll also do is once we get closer to the city, I'm going to change the route here to take us to Bunnings to see how it copes with car parks.
We need H-Man in here. This is his neck of the woods. Bris Vegas.
Here in Australia, because I'm sure they would have tested this route 1,000 times.
Look at that key light he's got in the corner there. That's an Elgato key light by the look of it. Someone will die, lawsuits, then will fade away. Someone will die, there'll be lawsuits, and then the technology will get way, way, way better. It won't get, this technology will not... what was that noise? This technology will not fade away. It is just going to get better and better and better.
Before allowing media to come here, so I'm just going to turn the voice off there. Okay, so here's our first intersection. It's a major highway here. Lots of trucks, lots of skid marks as well. Someone's had fun here. So we'll see how this copes with this. So Tesla uses just cameras. So unlike a lot of other brands that are using LiDAR, especially a lot of the Chinese brands, it's picked a good spot there. A lot of Chinese brands that are using LiDAR.
Whoa. Did you seriously just cut off that, dude? The first time this full self-driving navigates a T intersection and you cut to B-roll over the top of it, what the fuck are you doing? What's this channel called? Car Expert. Did you really cut away onto B-roll at the most critical moment? You fucking idiot. That's what we all want to see. You're not touching the the wheel or the pedals, and this car is going to go into a gap across traffic and you cut to B-roll. What an idiot.
Tesla uses just cameras, so unlike a lot of other brands that are using LiDAR, especially a lot of the Chinese brands, it's picked a good spot there, a lot of Chinese brands that are using LiDAR, which is basically a very sophisticated
You're cutting
laser.
it to show us a fucking roof rack, dude. That's so frustrating.
They use it in unison with radar as well. Tesla is just using vision, and that requires a lot of complexity in terms of processing all of that vision rapidly. Tesla says this runs at 36 frames a second, and it utilizes cameras that face forwards, down the sides, out the back. So it is using
36 frames a second. Doesn't seem like enough. I don't know. 60 frames a second seems to be smooth motion in video, but 36, whatever it was, not even the right number, 24.
Using its full suite of cameras to figure out where it's going, but at no point is it using radars or anything beyond just camera vision. And that, to me, I don't know, personally, I don't love the fact that there isn't those layers of redundancy, but...
Yeah, Dale, tech will improve, fair point, but also fair to say that humans cause accidents all the time. So if the computers in power... Do you know what? Here's the issue, man. When it's computers versus the humans, that's where the trouble's going to lie, right? If it was all computers and no human intervention, so if everyone on the road had full self-driving vehicles and there wasn't the opportunity for some Larry Long John to put their foot down and try to cut in, make things sketchy, if it was just done to the computer, maybe they'd be a lot safer. Just saying.
This is how they're tackling this task, and obviously Tesla wants to be different. You can't just be the same as everyone else. So far, so good. Okay, I want to explain my experience with this type of vehicle before. So I was in Los Angeles recently, and I caught a Waymo. I was a little apprehensive with it because I didn't know what to expect. So for those of you that don't know, Waymo is a company that uses Jaguar I-Paces. They're all electric cars. They're running around San Francisco. They've got them in Arizona, Los Angeles. They're trying to roll out to as many places as they can, and they're restricted in terms of where they can go. So in Los Angeles, for example, you've got areas where they can and can't travel, and they'll be able to get you around.
So Waymo is fully self-automated Uber service, right? It sounds pretty boring to drive. I mean, yeah, that takes away all human interaction. It lets you just enjoy the scenery. Everyone's a passenger. That's kind of interesting. What if nefarious hackers gain control of the millions of vehicles? I mean, yeah. Computers can be hacked. Yeah, that's a good point.
They will pull into driveways. This Waymo that I was in literally pulled into our hotel driveway, which is quite narrow, and picked us up from there. It's such cool technology. So when I hopped in first, I was really apprehensive because I didn't really trust it, especially with LA drivers. By the end of it, I'd caught maybe 10 of these. I was genuinely blown away at the technology. I felt very comfortable. The car was very confident in its decision making. What we constantly see with Chinese market cars in Australia in particular that have this.
Has anyone in the States taken a Waymo? Has anyone done this? You get into a taxi and there's no driver, essentially. That's the service. You're getting into a vehicle, you're paying to go somewhere and there's no driver. That's pretty interesting, right? Like that's the science. That's the future. It's happening right now. Has anyone done it? I've never. I mean, we don't have it here. We're probably never going to have it. But right there in LA, you can get a Waymo and just there's no driver. No way would I ride in that type of vehicle. Nope. Okay. I mean, he's in the back. It's pretty interesting. There's no driver.
Technology. I felt very comfortable. The car was very confident in its decision making. What we constantly see with Chinese market cars in Australia in particular that have this sort of level 2 lane keeping assistance is a lot of them don't really work very well at all. And there's a big difference between cars that have all of these features and a suite of sensors. See, I'm just nervous here about these corners and having approaching vehicles. You can have all the sensors in the world, but if you don't have the ability to process the information that...
Heavy rain impairs the visuals. You would assume that, right? I mean, definitely impairs the human's vision when it's raining. So yeah, for sure.
The sensors deliver you.
Well, wait a second. Okay, as I think about that, humans have poor eyesight in heavy rain while driving. is it fair to say that a computer could remove the rain, right? Like digitally remove the rain, and then you're not dealing with rain, you're dealing with, like, the computer doesn't recognize day or night, so why would it recognize rain or no rain? It just doesn't see the rain. So maybe the computers are not affected by the rain. Interesting.
The technology is virtually pointless, and you see LiDAR on heaps of Chinese market cars, but do they
You ask
have
great questions.
the
Thank you,
technical
Dave.
capability of processing all of that footage? Probably not. Whereas Tesla here are very dedicated on the path of making this work with vision. And just to add a bit of difficulty to all of this as well, it is raining at the moment too.
Watch out, ducks!
Wait, did it swerve?
Did you get one?
No, just missed them. It did brake a little bit though. It did brake ever so slightly for them. Wow.
Fuck, that would have been frightening if you had to time that for the ducks. Jesus. It's fun debating you, kind of, sort of. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just know that you're wrong.
Just then we had ducks crossing the road, and it's actually started braking, which is great because we didn't have to slaughter any ducks. We're having chicken for lunch, but that was close. But it worked, which is the main thing. It slowed down for the ducks.
It didn't spot them, though.
In terms of the functionality of how all of this stuff works, I don't have to indicate, I don't have to do anything outside of, I guess, just being ready to take over here. And so far it's making all the right decisions, using the right indications, and we are on pretty well-marked roads here, so this is not an easy task, but certainly a task that is easier thanks to
Why did the duck cross the road to get on this internet link?
decent line markings. We'll see as we sort of progress in towards the city and as we try and do our detour to Bunnings, how well it actually copes with all that. The interesting thing as well is I've got the auto wipers on, but it's not really wiping the screen, and given that the camera is up there, it seems to be working.
I wonder why in this test he has to do a particular route. Like, why can't, like he said he's changing it to go to Bunnings, so why would it be a specific route that he has to follow to do this test? I'm assuming this is not his vehicle, he's just borrowing it to do the video, and they would have said you have to do this route. Is it because they've already tested it? It's kind of not really fair, is it? That's like saying you can make a review of this snorkel mask, but you have to say what we say. Hell no.
So Tesla manages the driver here by saying, as part of all the terms and conditions you agree to, that this is supervised full self-driving. And that means that you must be in charge at all times. You are the person that is in control of the vehicle. The car is just assisting you with driving through the streets here. So I basically have to be ready to go all the time. There's a camera just up here, and that's monitoring me to make sure that I'm ready to go. If I start looking back at Igor in the back seat there who's filming, or if I start being distracted and taking away from having my eyes on the road, it will actually start giving me warnings to the point where it will disable the full self-driving software, and
That's pretty
it will then
good.
basically strike me out for that drive. Now, one thing while we wait for these traffic lights that I think a lot of you are probably asking is what happens in terms of liability. Well, the driver is always responsible, and it's like when you install software on your computer. No one reads the 15 pages of agreements, but to set this up and to get it running, I had to agree to all this stuff, which in essence says that I'm in charge of what's going on. Despite the vehicle, actually driving, I still have to be here to take control if I need to.
Right. Well, liability, Dale. But you didn't think that there wouldn't be that, did you? Like that's going to be a thing always, right? You're going to have to accept liability.
And you would have seen a lot of cases in the US where people are suing Tesla in the event where they die behind the wheel of a Tesla that is running in autopilot. There has been a lot of these cases, and I've been keeping an eye on them to see how it's all going to pan out. But in a lot of the cases that have actually gone to court and gone beyond a settlement, the driver has actually not been taking responsibility for the car. In one particular case, a driver dropped their phone when they went to retrieve it. The car was still on autopilot and went through a series of stop measures like a give way sign and other things that were meant to stop the vehicle, and the driver unfortunately died in that case. Tesla was forced to pay 33% of punitive damages to the family of that person. So the court determined that Tesla was partly responsible for that, but not fully responsible. So there is really a grey line here between you know, how this works when it is tested in courts, but you can see that they are trying to deliver something that is completely different to what we are used to as drivers on the road. We're used to controlling the vehicle and it doing everything and occasionally using cruise control. But here, I haven't yet done anything since we left the RACQ Mobility Centre. The car has been doing everything, and to be honest, it actually has been doing everything pretty well.
It's pretty rad, right? Like, I mean, obviously some of us are going to never use it, some of us are going to hate it, but the concept of what it's doing is pretty groundbreaking. Like, they haven't changed the roads to suit these new cars. They've just changed the car to suit the road. It's pretty compelling. Like, I mean, I use cruise control and I use adaptive cruise control where it keeps you in line with the vehicle in front by however many chevrons you choose, 4 down to 1. That stuff is incredible on a highway. It's perfect. This is pretty rad. Like, I don't know when I'll ever get this in my own vehicle ever, but it's pretty compelling. Hey, Charles, how you doing? If I'm sitting in the back of a driverless taxi, I will not be liable. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, that's interesting. I wonder how the Wago gets around that. Elon sucks. Let's key and torch all of them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Free Palestine, and also torch all Tesla owners' vehicles. Let's go and smash their garages up at their own private homes because we don't like Elon. That's a great solution. Nailed it.
So we're about to enter the motorway here. So this is going to require us to go through a roundabout and then turn right onto the freeway. We're currently in the wrong lane for that to happen. So we'll see how it sorts itself out. There's a car next to us coming up here. You can actually see all of the visualization over here as well. This is what the camera is looking at and how it is interpreting its surroundings. So you can see all of those. Okay, so there you go. It's changed lanes.
Fuck, that's pretty rad.
It's interpreting its surroundings by looking at signs like the roundabout sign, the traffic lights. Looking at other vehicles and what they're doing.
Wow.
I'm curious to see if at any point we have someone enter our lane, which is something that often happens, how it's going to handle that. But at the moment, it is, okay, so this car in front of us is doing a last-minute lane change. That's not for us, it's for them. Okay, so far so good. This is the other interesting thing as well. We're in a sort of tunnel here before we get onto the freeway. One of the things that's always confused me about this and that makes me kind of skeptical about the way that Tesla is going about this full self-driving stuff is...
The tech is amazing, no questions about that, yeah. And I guess the other thing is to note that you're not being forced to use this. There's never going to come a time where they say you have to have a self-driving vehicle. Not in our lifetime anyway. I mean, maybe in like 3 generations of children, that might be the case where no one's allowed to drive a vehicle anymore. It's all automated. But in our lifetimes and in the closest next, I don't know, century or whatever, you're not going to be forced to do this.
If you exit a tunnel, your eyes take a moment to adjust.
But don't forget, sorry, while I have this great point, don't forget that like computers do surgeries now. Like there are surgeons that are there to assist the technology performing the procedure. So we're letting surgeons dissect us and do all their wonderful shit, and it's all robots. So that works. And like I said before, we've had autopilot in airplanes for a long, long while. Benon, we in the US were being forced to buy only electric vehicles. I mean, that's a thing. That's obviously a thing. Like we've had this discussion many, many times. The gas guzzling engine is gone. Those days are over. Like electric vehicles are 100% the future. It's coming faster than we all thought. The ICE engine, the internal combustion engine, it's gone. It's done. Until most refused, the government changed it. But that's a stopgap. So the government or the motor vehicle manufacturers refused. The government backed down. They changed. That's like the Bitcoin price. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. But ultimately, it keeps going up. We are moving towards electric vehicles. Period. All electric vehicles. There's a dip. There's a rise. There's a dip. There's a rise. But you're going there. It's going to be there. The buyers refused, but that won't be long, dude. Okay, so. The buyers being, to cut it bluntly, the buyers being the boomers, the young kids, the poopsies, the younger generation, they're not buying an ICE engine. They're not even going to be like, what? You used to have to go somewhere and get a liquid to put in your car? We just turn it on at home. What are you talking about? They won't even know about it. So it's almost done, dude. It's that close to being done.
is effectively a set of eyes. It has a lens.
Young kids can't afford electric cars. No one could afford a car when they first came out, though. You know, when it was horse and carriage, no one could afford cars. Things change, man. Things change. And it is moving. It's moving fast. And I salute it.
And an aperture, has a shutter speed. It is just like the human eye. And it's designed to adjust like the human eye. So when we go from dark to light, it takes a moment to do that. I always wonder how this vehicle and vehicles like this that just use camera vision actually cope with those sudden changes in vision. There was a lot of criticism about Tesla's on autopilot that had crashed into emergency service vehicles because the theory was that they had flashing lights and it was hard to determine what was going on. So, I mean, all of this stuff remains untested because, you know, we just haven't had any of this in Australia. So now let's talk about the cost of this. If you do buy a Tesla today, you get autopilot as standard, but autopilot is really just effectively traffic-aware cruise control. It's stuff that you find on virtually every car today.
I didn't say it would never happen. I just said most refuse to buy for now. Yeah, okay. Well, for now is the key part of that.
Autopilot won't do this type of, or this level of self-driving. The second you put an indicator on with standard autopilot that comes in all Teslas, it
likely the future,
cruise
exactly.
control, and it's fine, but nothing sort of too crazy. One step up from that is called enhanced autopilot. And back when we had our Model Y that was this generation of car, they did a 30-day thing over Christmas where you could trial enhanced autopilot, and it was genuinely bad, scarily bad. It didn't know the correct speed limits. It made very last-minute decisions to change lanes. And I felt extremely uncomfortable using it because our Tesla at the time, the software that was on it, would do phantom braking where you would come up to an overpass and it would just hit the brakes because it thought that you were going to hit a solid wall. So I basically used it for a day and then refused to use it after that because I didn't want my family in the car while this stuff was running. Full self-driving is a completely different system to that. It uses completely different data. It is far more advanced in terms of the way that it processes everything. And it's far more, I guess when I say...
It's an extra 10 grand on top of your Tesla cost. That's a fair amount, right? 10K on top. Dalesky, I don't like any government attempting to force. That is not freedom. There are exceptions, of course. Okay. I mean, they'll just move with the times, though. They'll move with the trends.
It's willing to take more risks in the sense that it will behave more like a human as opposed to a computer. You find that a lot of cars today that have this type of technology, they're very rigid in terms of the instructions and how they change lanes. They won't change lanes for you.
Hey, Jake.
Kia products.
Jake over on Twitch. I left DLive and Kick. Did you now? Why'd you do that?
Example with some of their highway driving assistants, they need heaps of space. You know, they're very timid in terms of how they work. This, on the other hand, is very confident. It's not overly fazed by vehicles being near the line. It doesn't sort of freak out when random stuff happens around the car. And that's what I found with the Waymo in the States, that it would stick within its lane and it really wouldn't mind if other cars veered near you, but it would take evasive action if it needed to. This feels very much the same. It feels very advanced.
I left home. Yeah, you're still on vacation, aren't you, Dalesky? DLive is dead. DLive is dead. There's changes coming to DLive. DLive could be D-alive again soon.
Strangely comfortable here behind the wheel. It doesn't feel out of touch or weird to me at all. Would I spend...
And Kick is promoting illegal gambling. So that's what's been going on with Kick from the get-go, man. DLive is not dead. Yeah, I don't think... I mean, I'm not the poster boy for DLive, but I think DLive might have a little bit of wind in its sails. You know, I for one, I support the motion to allow sexual content on DLive if you wanted to do that. I think that's a great move. It's there in the terms. There's nothing ambiguous about it. It's right there, clear. You can, if you want to stream sexual content, you're welcome to. Just make sure you have M-tag turned on. X-tag, M-tag is the other one. Yeah, Jake. Yeah, DLive is promoting pornography. Yeah, but what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Before, DLive never actually had a clear-cut policy and people were sort of skirting around the rules. Now they say, as per the terms, you can stream pornography as long as you're X-tagged. That seems pretty legit to me. If you want to do that, then you can do it. Why would that not be okay? We're all consenting adults. Incorrect statements, just know that you're wrong. Yeah. When did I make an incorrect statement though, Dale? I salute that DLive have changed that policy. I mean, it looks like it goes back about 5 months ago. You don't like porn, don't watch it. That's my take on it. If you don't want to create that content yourself. See, okay, so I should be clear. I don't agree with people broadcasting other people's shit. Like there's channels that are just ripping shit from adult websites and just broadcasting it. That's not right. But if you wanted to make your own content and it's X-rated, you now can do that as per the terms, and you can be a creator on DLive and earn the new token, whatever that's going to be in the next five weeks or something. They're going to roll out a new token. You can earn it. You're just as valid to earn that by creating a fucking duck stream from a duck farm or a 24-hour sleeping stream. Now you can do porn if you want. I think it's great. Jake, did you hear Dan Clancy is telling people to not give bits and subs? I did not hear this. Why would he do that? That's his platform. I did not hear that. Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch.
On this, so enhanced autopilot is about $5,000 extra.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Twitch, Dale. So I guess people do care what he has to say. Who cares? Yeah.
Full self-driving around $10,000 extra. And keep in mind that you still have to have your hands at or near the wheel. You can't just let go completely. We're not that stage where it's unsupervised like you find in a robo-taxi or in one of those Waymos. So you're paying $10,000 to effectively do a bit of extra work for you. It's not like I can use my phone at the moment. That is still illegal in Australia. I can't take my laptop out and do some work. So I think that at this stage, it's still way too expensive for what it is. But if they offer it as a monthly subscription, perhaps that will be appealing to some people to take the... A
monthly subscription for a self-driving vehicle? Just fucking buy it and be done. Enough subscription shit. Enough with that platform. That's God, I hate the monthly subscription. Some people are so self-important, like their opinion matters to others. Well, Dan Clancy, he is the CEO. So if he's telling people not to sub and to do Twitch donations, that's a bit weird. Him being the CEO of the platform. That's like Charles Wayne saying, hey, everybody stop donating lemons and ninja guineas. Don't do it. That's going to be weird. That is pretty weird.
The strain out of...
Did you open your test result? Yes, I did. I'm negative. Negative is good.
You know, driving like we're doing now in stop-start traffic.
R.I.P. Ace Frehley. Really? Today?
The other cool thing as well with this visualization, I mentioned before that it gives you an idea of your surroundings and everything. You can actually go full screen visualization that minimizes the map over there.
Thanks, Dale. Thanks, man.
A clear indication of what's going on around you. You can see ahead of us there, it's misidentified that Prado with a trailer as a truck. So, you know, I guess that's for the sake of visualization, kind of the same thing. But to me, I always look at that and go, you know, in my Tesla, if it shows, you know, a dual cab ute when there's a truck next to me, it sometimes flips between a truck and a person and it doesn't really know what it's doing. It's like, all right, is that because the camera can't see properly or is that just the software being funny? I don't know, but it's just one of those things that I always have.
All trucks' lives matter.
Question marks in my mind about how accurate this stuff actually is. I just want to touch on what does this actually mean, this full self-driving stuff. So full self-driving supervised is a stepping stone to full self-driving unsupervised. And if you have a look at what they're doing with Waymo and Elon Musk's vision, which is to turn your car into a robo-taxi, and the whole concept is that if you drive your car to the train station or to the office, that your car can then drop you off, disappear, go and earn money during the day, as a sort of Uber, and then come back and pick you up at the end of the day. Look, to me,
that's something that's insane. Are you telling me you drive your car to the train station, or it'll drive you? You'll go and jump on a train, go to work for 8 hours, 9 hours. In the time that you're at work, your vehicle's just fucking around the neighborhood, dropping people. Your vehicle is sludding around the neighborhood behind your back, but coming back with money saying, I got money for you, but the wear and tear, you know, your vehicle's getting, people are back there having sex, they're eating donuts, they're slopping shit everywhere, and then you get into your vehicle at the end of the day and it's like, what the fuck is that smell? Don't worry, man, I earned you some cash today. That's why you're getting the train to go to your job to earn the money in the first place. Jake, he suffered in a fall in his studio that caused a brain bleed, placed on life support. Who's this? Oh, Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley fell in the studio, his brain bled. This is the man from Kiss. His family later confirmed he'd passed away peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. Man, that's a big blow. That's a big blow. Damn, dude.
I don't want randoms sitting in my car, especially if it's full of my crap. But I can see the appeal to some people. You know, you have a car, it can go earn you money during the day, it's a utility. But more importantly, when it gets to the level of unsupervised, it kind of gives you the ability to really get work done. If I have a think about my commute to the Proving Ground, it's like a 2.5 hour drive, and I'm doing that twice a week to film our video content. Sometimes if I catch traffic, it can be a 3-hour commute to the Proving Ground each way. To me, I'd much rather have that 3 hours.
Hey, Charles, didn't you have a colonoscopy? No, I did not. No. Why did you need a male in fecal matter? No, I did not. I've never had a colonoscopy. I would have one. I would go for one, but I never have. I had a, what's the procedure called? I had a renal ultrasound, prostatic enlarged and post-void residual urine worsening LUTS update, bulky prostate gland with a moderate post-void residual bladder volume of 86 mil, and there's a renal cyst, which is nothing to worry about. Yeah. I kept that handy so I could just refer to it with the will of the nil.
To sit down and be able to do work, to review some of the videos that the guys have put together, there's time better spent than me having to sit here behind the wheel. Obviously, though, I value my safety, and one of the things that I am genuinely concerned about is when this stuff goes wrong and it doesn't work. If I don't have my eyes on the road and I've got my head buried in my laptop and I miss something that happens in front of me, whether it's a tyre that comes off a truck or, you know, one time I had a ladder fall on the road that I didn't get to see until the car in front of me sort of zoomed out of the way. It's situations like that that I'm concerned about, and I don't feel confident or comfortable enough yet to relinquish control completely. But I can see instances where this is useful. If you look at the Waymo stuff that they have in the States, that has completely revolutionised how you get around places like Los Angeles. You can book a car, it will pull up on the side of the road, you can select your own music, you can set your own temperature, it's all logged. You know, it is a really cool experience, and it means that you don't need to have drivers that are limited to a certain amount of time behind the wheel before they have to go home. You don't have to worry about a driver being tired, irritable, which sometimes happens. So yeah, I could see the benefits to it. Obviously, it could completely change the taxi industry. We've gone from, you know, taxis that rely on having licenses and it's an income for a taxi driver.
Just a side note here, if this gentleman's doing a 3-hour commute to get to a studio to record videos, the question has to be asked, why? Why do you have to go somewhere to conduct business? I've never quite grasped that concept. Like, why do we, I guess the deeper question I'm asking is, why do we have the suburbs and the city? The city, and we refer to it as the CBD, the Central Business District. It's where people go to conduct business. It stems back from the early days, right, where people took their horse and carriage and their goods, potatoes, carrots, whatever, they took them all into the market area. People came in and bought them and then went back to their homes. That's the idea behind it. Do we still need them, though? Do we still need to get somewhere and then conduct business? Hasn't COVID taught us we can conduct business from wherever we damn well please, including our own homes? And if this gentleman's just recording videos, why can't he save the money that he would spend traveling 3 hours, what did you say, two or 3 days a week each way to get to the studio, and buy a house with a studio and just make the studio the home? Like, I don't get, and even further from that, I've never understood, and I'll go on record here, I've never understood why, and it might not be the same everywhere on the planet, but in Australia, they have a thing called peak hour. So between the hours of, say, so business hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., where everyone is meant to be in the city working from 9 to 5. So what do? They build in a transit system to get you from the suburbs to the city. Now, when people need to use that, well, they need to use it to get to the workplace by 9 a.m. So there's this rush to use it all at this one time, and they call that peak hour, and they charge you more for it. So they want you to use this thing that gets you to this place at this one particular time, and they realize everyone's going to need it. So instead of making it easy to do, they make it harder. There's less buses, there's less trains, they're all full, and they make it more expensive for you to do it. It's not encouraging anyone to do that. It's the opposite. Peak hour should be the cheapest time to travel because everyone needs to do it. That's when it should be, oh, you all got to go there, it's cheaper. On the weekends or outside those times when you don't have to go there, you still want to go in, we make it dearer for you to make it harder. I've never got that. They bowl you over because you have to do something. Some jobs require physical presence. I'm not denying that, but why does it have to be in the one area? Like, why are there cities? Is I guess what I'm asking. What's the idea of a city? Big, tall buildings with lots of spaces for everybody to go in and do the work. You don't have to do it there. You could have it anywhere, right? Now, Gibbs, you must really stop making sense, bro. I can't, man. I can't help it.
To Ubers, where you can bring your own car, you don't need a license, to now potentially having no drivers at all. It's a completely different system, but I just don't know whether we're ready for it yet. And more importantly, I don't know whether the cars are ready for other drivers on the road that don't know what they're doing. There are a lot of drivers that if they're driving inebriated or they're driving like maniacs, there is a potential that the car doesn't know how to handle that situation. Here, where everyone's in their lane and it's all very straightforward, it's fine. But so what's happening now, we're changing lanes because the guy in front of us was doing 80 k's an hour in a 100 zone. So the car has determined that we can be going faster than that guy, and we're now passing him.
Give him the finger.
Pretty cool.
If the car could flip in the bird as well as he goes past, it's like, fuck you, man. What are you doing 80 in a 100 zone for, you idiot? That's dangerous. That is dangerous to do slow speeds. Now, okay, there's something I must add to that. In Govan, as you might have seen during my Uluru trip, I only hit 80 k's max, period. However, you'll never see me in the fast lanes, in the right or the middle. If there's 3 lanes, I'll be in the left lane every single time. If there's 2 lanes, I'm in the left lane. If it's 1 lane, I'm in the 1 lane, but the moment I can pull over to let people go past, I do. If you're not going to do the speed limit, pull over or get the fuck out of the fast lane. Use directional speakers, CT mentioned, to mock the bad driver. Yeah. That's a good idea, yeah. Get out of there. It's what part of 100 can't you read? And I could have my own speakers back going, sorry, it's a 2002 Delica. It only goes to 80. I can camp in it though, sorry.
You can see here it's misidentified that as a pickup truck with an enormous trailer, and now it's changed it to a four-wheel drive. So yeah, that kind of stuff I just think is still a bit strange. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get to our destination, which is another 28 kilometres from here. Once we get to that destination, I'm going to remove all the other stuff that the Tesla people have put in here and put in a local Bunnings, which is a hardware store. If you don't know what a Bunnings is, for our international viewers, I'm going to see how it goes getting there and what it does once we get to the car park and how well it handles that situation, because I think that'll be a real-world test of how this works as opposed to this curated drive route that they have for us.
And it seems to work pretty well.
Now, we're getting close to the city, another 7 k's or so. I want to see how it copes now with some of these busier streets and different road conditions. So, lane change is all good. So far, it's had a bit of an easy run. It's been pretty quiet in terms of traffic. They've picked a strategic time to have us out and about here. It's not sort of overly busy. But where we're heading now, it should be a little busier. We'll actually be driving very near the CarExpert office, so we'll see what it's like around there. I know that it can get pretty crazy around there, so we'll see what that's like. I mentioned before that it had that little whoopsie with the speed sign recognition. The rest of the trip has been fine. It's been sort of picking everything up. But that is one of the gripes that I had with enhanced autopilot when we had it back on our Tesla as well, that it was doing 100 in this speed zone that's been 80 for like 10 years. So I don't know where it got the 100 from, and it still thinks it's 100 today. So situations like that where what would happen if you got a speeding fine because it thought you were meant to be doing 100? Yes.
Is that pulling that in from Google? I believe so, right?
I'm responsible, meant to be supervising, but yeah, it's a big old speeding fine in Victoria. Okay, so
you're in Brisbane though.
Actually just adjusted this trip ever so slightly to get it to take us past the CarExpert office, just so I can see what it's like around there, because I know that it'll be busy around this time. It's like a set of turns and it's a little bit tricky down here, so I'll be curious to see how this goes. Okay. So far, so good. You can't see it, but I've got my foot. Okay, so we're now straddling 2 lanes here. It's just cut off the driver behind us.
Oh, shit.
I've got my foot hovering over the brake, just in case to see how it goes. And we're now crossing another line. Okay, and it's now also in the wrong lane because we need to turn right down here. Okay, it's changing lane, which is good. We'll see if it actually completes that manoeuvre. No. It had the perfect opportunity to get in behind that car, and now we're in the wrong lane down here. Yeah, so I'll be curious to see when this light goes green up here. So right now, it's got a green to turn left. We want to turn right, and what you're going to find now is
it's going to fuck up the traffic.
The wrong lane.
Oh, it's going to go right from the left lane.
Great. So now we're blocking traffic.
Can't do that, dude.
Yep, we're blocking traffic. Okay, so it has realised that... Whoa!
Oh!
What the hell?
Okay,
it just tried to
what it tried to do there is a massive no-no in Australia. You cannot go right from a left-hand on-ramp, if you like. It's not an on-ramp, but it's a left-hand only turn. If you want to go right, you've got to hit the lights and go right. You can't go right from the left hand. And it went to do it too. This is crazy. Damn that. And Netsky's right. Yeah, that's totally illegal. Like, you'd get a fine for that.
Yep, we're blocking traffic. Okay, so it has realised that... Whoa! What the hell? It just tried to turn right across there. Okay.
I would have said, fuck that.
Not good. What happened, it says here, you tried to turn across an intersection.
Jesus.
That's terrible. Okay, we'll just see if we can restart full self-driving there.
And this, I feel like this is where this comes unstuck. When it tries to do something that's obviously wrong, you then jump out of the autopilot mode, and now you're playing with a little device trying to get it to work. You're like me on a live stream going, how come the bit rate's disappeared? Where's the 4G? And you're worried about that. You should be worried about the drive. Like, you should be like, okay, autopilot's disengaged. I'm just going to drive now until I find a safe spot to pull over, and then I'll re-engage it, because he's now fiddling down there with that heads-up display. Send all fines to the fools who buy or use this crap. Dale, I love it. You're aggressive, man. Okay, so you can stay in the dark ages, Dale. We're all moving forward. You can stay there. Luddite. Excuse me.
If I put that into park, press and hold, tap brake to confirm.
That's not for me, MD. Fair enough.
Okay, so we're trying that again. Yeah. So there you go. What we did was deviate from the route that Tesla gave us, and obviously Tesla would have tested their route 1,000 times, and you can see there that what is...
I love it here in my dark cave. By the way, I find this horrible that Tesla gave him a designated route to take. I think that's the wrong way to test this. Like, if they said, yo, Gibbs, here's a camper van, take it on a test run, but you can only camp at this one campground. I'd be like, fuck that. I want to go camping where I want to camp. You know?
It wasn't even a technical intersection. It knew that it needed to be in the other lane. It just left it to the last second and didn't know what to do. So that's obviously a situation where if you were a passenger in this car as a sort of unsupervised taxi, it would make an absolute calamity of itself there. So yeah, not very good. Just so you know as well, when I had to intervene there to basically disengage the system, I yanked at the wheel, and initially it provides a fair bit of resistance, but once you get it past its sort of locking point, it realises that you're taking control of the vehicle, and it stops the ability for it to keep going. So
that's fair.
It's just one of those things where it realises that it's gone a bit pear-shaped and it needs to fix it. Okie dokie, we are just about to drive past the Car Expert office here. There's Will. We'll give him a wave.
Where there's a will, there's a wave.
Okay, so we just went past the Car Expert office. Now what I want to do is put in Bunnings as an additional stop for us on the way back to Mount Cotton.
Dale, if you have to stay aware, how does that help? Help the drive or help the driver? You want to jump immediately into completely full self-driving so you haven't got to pay any attention at all? Is that what I'm hearing? Welcome to the future.
So I'm going to set Bunnings, this one here, because it's along the way, and it's going to take us into the car park. I want to see how it handles that, because that'll be interesting. So, okay, push and hold to start FSD supervised, tap brake to confirm. We're parked behind this car, so I'll be curious to see what it does here. Okay, let's put it in reverse. which is good. And that's going to back us out of there. There you go, it's in drive. Do a little head check, all good.
Check your blind spot.
Ripper, all right.
That's pretty cool.
So let's see
you can sledge it, you can critique it, but that's pretty cool. It just reversed and pulled out of a space. You know, like that's something that they test you to do when you're going for your driver's license. Now the machine can do it for you. That's pretty rad.
Happens. We had the little incident back there. We'll see how
the tech is fascinating. Fully.
Additional stuff we're going to throw at it here, in particular the car park.
I mean, what happens when it gets a flat tire? Does it go, I see where there's a flat tire, just stay indoors and we'll attend to it. And then the spare tire comes out somehow and it jacks itself up and takes the tire. I don't know, like it's kind of strange, huh?
It's going to be...
Yo, Ruben, thanks for the follow over on Beam. Ruben, how you doing, Ruben? Ruben Garrido. How you going, Ruben?
An interesting one. It won't have ever been to that Bunnings, so we're giving it brand new terrain to visit. This is another funny one as well. This street we're about to turn onto is one way, but with a lot of fast moving traffic. So we'll see.
I'm not trusting my sexy ass with it yet. Fair enough though.
I don't even know how it can see down the road there. The fact that it can see all the way down there is pretty impressive. All right, there we go.
It calls roadside assistance. Does it really, Charles?
It's picked its marker. It's going to turn. Okay, we're going to go straight ahead here. All right. Now, this is going to be an interesting one where we've just made a left turn here to a giveaway sign. And it's a bit of a tricky one because we're merging onto an existing road. That traffic just has its own lane. We don't. It's actually quite difficult to see around this barrier here. Okay, so it has not slowed down at all just then. There were no cars coming, so I don't know whether it knew that there were no cars coming, but it just went straight through that giveaway sign, you know, which you would do.
I kind of want to see it have an accident, if I'm being honest. Like I kind of want to see it hit a curb or something. Not a big gnarly one, but just like a scrape, like hits the medium or something.
If you were a driver and you looked, but it was tricky to see around there, and perhaps it had camera coverage, but I'm not entirely sure. Just up ahead here, we've got a bit of an obstacle, which is a roadworks zone. So we're going to have cars merging in with us, and then we're going to have some cones and stuff up ahead as well. So.
Now here's a question. Can it ignore or can it navigate around potholes? Because that's a big factor on the south coast of New South Wales. Potholes can swallow cars entirely.
Okay, so far so good. It's let the cars in. There's the cones. It's seen the road worker who's on his phone. What a surprise. It's nailed that pothole. All right. A little narrow here next to the bus in the lane, but it is doing a good job of manoeuvring through there.
Potholes, is that a marijuana reference?
Right.
Do you not call them potholes in the States? Surely you do. You must call them potholes. What other name could there be for it? Damaged pavement?
Righty, then we're going to snake down here. I'll be curious to know how this deals with school zones, whether it interprets the 40 sign as just a...
Surely you guys do. MD, you guys call them potholes. You're being silly. Yeah. I was going to say this. That seems like a pretty universal name. Although it wouldn't surprise me, Americans with their cantaloupe and saran wrap. Get out of here.
Hours that school zones apply, or even, you know, school zones don't apply on school holidays. So how does it know?
We call them potholes. Yeah, cool.
Whether it's a school holiday or not, this is stuff that I've still got questions about. One of the curious things as well, just with the way that Tesla does stuff, famously, that guy was reversing and stuck his car out. Famously, Tesla fired their PR team globally because they just wanted commentary to come from Musk. But in Australia, they've actually had like a skunk work PR operation for quite some time. And it's interesting today with this stuff that they're showing us being the first right-hand drive market to have this technology. No one wanted to answer any questions, so I can't ask anything. I can't tell you much because no one will actually say anything on the record. They didn't do Q&A. So, you know,
what if a child chasing a ball darts in front unexpectedly? They've tested that, and it does navigate that pretty well. Like it slams the brakes on. They have done that test. Yeah, it can sense fast moving objects and react accordingly.
If you were with a legacy car company showing you this technology, you'd be able to talk to engineers, quote people, and really just go through the motions of explaining how stuff works. But here I'm just relying on...
That's not even self-driving. That's just a feature in most Teslas, like collision control or collision avoidance. It's just part of it. Alex Allen, death in a Lamborghini. Not a Lamborghini, it's a Tesla, but hello.
Work and stuff that I've seen on the internet. So it's a little bit disappointing that they just don't let those people speak and give us a clear indication of how this tech works, because there's some smart people behind all of this stuff. Like, I think everyone underestimates just how much has gone into allowing this car to drive right now on its own, supervised. Like it's huge. The computing power, the lines of code to make this happen is insane. So I'd love to just be able to talk to people about that and get a bit of a vibe check on how it all works and to get a better understanding of the engineering behind all of this technology. But anyway, that's Tesla for you. We've got a bit of freeway driving ahead of us here. We're about to merge onto the freeway now. We've crossed an intersection. This is a Form 1 lane. We've got an ambulance next to us. Hopefully it will let the ambulance in. There we go. And then we've got to merge onto the freeway with fast moving traffic. So let's see how it...
Some speculate that Alex Allen is a known troll.
All right, here we
a
go.
known troll. Okay.
Lane ends, merge right. Okay, it's got its indicator on.
We'll keep an eye on the troll.
Far, so good. Excellent. All right, next stop, Bunnings. So I wanted to take a break from driving because there's a lot of assumed knowledge here about how this technology works. And I thought, let me just run you through how it works, how they train it, and how it comes up with the ability to do what it does. So basically Tesla, like I said, doesn't use any radar, LiDAR. It is just camera vision. So you've got a camera up the top there. You've got cameras on the side, on the B-pillar, on the back. It's able to stitch all of that together to create an image of the world around it. Then what it's able to do is take the image of the world around it and interpret that, so it knows that a truck is a truck and a car is a car and a pedestrian is a pedestrian. Then they can build rules around that. So obviously you don't want to hit pedestrians, but it's okay to drive over speed humps. So they collect a lot of that data. How do they collect it? Well, a lot of people think that they use customers to do this, and that's not how it works. They actually have a set of drivers that drive all over the place, and it's not to map the roads. It's not to say, okay, we've driven down this road, the car now knows what to do there. It is to say, okay, I'm driving on a freeway, I'm going to change lanes, and I know that it's safe to change lanes because there is that much space there.
Sorry, Dale, what were you saying about DLive and moderation status? Fixed it. Ah, snap. Thanks, mate. Yeah, done.
So it learns from those good drivers to understand how the car should behave in similar situations. So it will take the world around it, it will know how to behave, and as a result of that, it can be pretty confident with the way that it drives, and that is where it will do things like cut some corners if it is a quicker way to go and there's no oncoming cars. So there is a lot of smarts behind this tech, and it is all driven by computers.
What did it just say it's going to do? It's going to cut a corner if there's no oncoming cars, so it'll go off the lane into the oncoming lane? Did it just say that?
Where it will do things like cut some corners if it is a quicker way to go and there's no oncoming cars.
Excuse me? It'll cut across the lane into the oncoming traffic, assuming there's no oncoming car. Hell no. My one will not do that. That's not right. You can't do that when you're driving the vehicle. Why would you be able to do that? Because the computer does it.
It will know how to behave, and as a result of that, it can be pretty confident with the way that it drives, and that is where it will do things like cut some corners if it is a quicker way to go and there's no oncoming cars.
Hell
so
no.
There's a lot of smarts behind this tech.
That is not smart.
By computers inside, and the biggest advantage here is that as they train the cars with more data, such as a hook turn in Melbourne, which is one of the things they demonstrated it was able to do, they trained that in Australia to know what to do with a hook turn. As they put all of that data together, it's able to come into the computer here and it will know how to assist.
The hook turn, for those that don't know, the hook turn, it's a thing in Melbourne and in Adelaide. It's when in the city, when you get to a, let's just say you're trying to go from a main route and you're trying to turn right and there's a tram line going down the center. So to turn right, you've actually got to go into the far left lane. So the opposite to what you'd think. So you're going this way and you want to go that. You're going this way and you want to go that way. Instead of turning and stopping here and waiting for the oncoming traffic to dissipate and then going right, you actually go that way into the furthest left lane and wait. The light goes green and then you hook across all the lanes. It's kind of funky when you're born in New South, which I am, and you go to Victoria for the first time. and you have to do a hook turn, you're like, oh, fuck, what? I've got to go over there to go that way? Doesn't seem right, but of course it makes sense. It's kind of similar to Amsterdam and other parts of Europe where the bicycle has the right of way. Go to Amsterdam, go to anywhere in Holland and Belgium, bicycles have right of way, and every single time you're driving and you want to turn off the main route, you have to be 100% certain there's nothing coming up that bike lane. The bike lane can often be not even on the road. It can be the road, and then there can be like a grass verge, and then there'll be the bike lane. But you're going to be crossing over it. You got to be 100% certain there's no bikes coming because they have right of way every time, all the time. So when you turn right in one of those instances, it's kind of like doing a hook turn, except that you make the turn and then you kind of stop and you verify there's nothing coming bicycle-wise and you go across. Kind of frightening the first time you do it though, like...
Assess everything in real time. It doesn't have to communicate externally to do that. Now, where they will actually use customer data is when you report a fault. So if you take over at any point, it allows you to report a fault, and that will give them something to review so that they can fix it as part of an update. So pretty impressive technology, and this is the big difference between Tesla and other car companies that are using a litany of radars. Yes, you can have countless radars and sensors on the car. It is interpreting that data and understanding what to do with it, which is where a lot of those brands struggle to actually put it all together and make the car feel like it is driving like a human does. Now, when is all this coming? Well, the rollout is going to start in Australia and New Zealand, and it'll basically start with customers that already have FSD software, and it'll start with hardware for customers, Model 3 and Model Y. Then it will be available to purchase as an option. They're going to introduce a subscription model, and finally you'll be able to do a 30-day trial upon delivery as well. Anyway, back to the driving. Okay, moment of truth. Just detected that pedestrian crossing. Bunnings is 600 metres away. It's going to turn into the actual car park and loop back around to the front of Bunnings. So
please tell me it gets a Bunnings sausage.
Let's see what it does here. We'll see when it decides to change lanes.
A Bunnings sausage is a community-driven food. Get a pig in a blanket, sausage on a piece of bread on a Saturday for $3, and the money goes towards some local sporting event.
For that, and it's shortly.
They take over the Bunnings car park.
And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stopped cars there, so it's going to have to
parking lot.
But it's way
car parks, parking lots, and car parks. They're the same thing, but we call them a car park. You guys call them a parking lot. In the parking lot at Bunnings on a Saturday, you can get a Bunnings sausage for $3, and you're supporting some local sports team.
There. And we'll see how it takes care of that. So, like I said before, this Bunnings, it will never have been to this Bunnings before. So it is going to have to interpret an Australian car park that's possibly busy. It's a weekday. There'll be a lot of tradies around, people coming in and out of car parks. I'm really nervous, so I'm just going to be on high alert here just to see what it does. We've got a cyclist up ahead there as well. So it's going to have to change lanes pretty soon, actually. So let's see how it achieves that.
Going to go past it.
Very soon. The entrance is 100 metres away. Okay. So
yeah, MREX, how you doing, man?
Here. Okay, and now it's going to have to go into this little entrance here. Got a bloke over here doing some leaf blowing. We'll see how it handles him. Oh, another guy on his phone, just not watching. It's actually done a really good job there. It's slowed down for both of them. Okay, this is a really tricky car park, actually. I've never been to this Bunnings, by the way, so... All right, watch that sign. All right, it's detected that sign. See how it copes with this. So it's going to go downhill here. It's going to have to go around this corner as well.
So it's looking for a spot to park in?
Okay.
This is pretty rad. What?
It has just stopped itself there. I don't know why. Okay, it's given up. I'm just going to put this
Oh, wow, it fucked up. Amrex, have you heard of the Wallamaya Pine in New South? No, I have not.
Okay, so I'm going to press and hold that.
He's going to get back into full self-time.
We'll see. I think I just rested on the brake there and it cancelled. So I've just resumed the destination here. We'll just see how it now copes with this car park, because it's going to have to navigate through the car park here to get out of the Bunnings.
Wait, aren't you going to park it?
So far, so good. Left room for that guy. So we've got some more pedestrians coming up ahead, and it's going to have to navigate this turn as well at the front of the Bunnings. Yeah, before I felt my foot just ever so slightly on
That's a shame. I was hoping he's going to let it do a park, like get a spot there.
Just because I was wanting to make sure we didn't collect anyone. Okay, so this is one way. Okay, so far so
Oh, here instead of here.
It's going to have to give way to this car here.
Here?
And it's just sailed straight through that. It should have stopped there for that car, but it just went straight through that. We're going to stop now for this bloke. Or lady, sorry.
That's not a knife.
Okay, we're going to wait for them to get past us. I can see the steering wheel turning a little in anticipation. No cars coming that way or that way. See how it manages this. That ute is sticking out a fair bit. We'll see if it gives this guy enough room here.
Here?
Yeah, it does. Okay. So in theory, if you were actually doing this, you wouldn't be allowing the car to self-drive. If you were here, you'd just be parking on your own. But I'm sort of looking ahead to what this will do in the future.
I really wanted to see it park.
One of the challenges they've got as well with us being a right-hand drive market, where
my new name is Rexky.
Obviously on the other side of the car, but everything is in reverse. So where in the States I would be on this side of the road, which is kind of what it's doing now. We have to be on the opposite side for Australia, so that obviously takes a fair bit of work to do that. So look, that's a pass for the...
That's not a pass, dude. You drove into the car park and drove back out again. I want to see you drive there, pull into a spot, get a Bunnings snag, and then off you go. After watching this, I admit I'm more impressed than before. I'm a little disimpressed. Unimpressed. Disimpressed. Jesus.
Park test. Because it did everything it was meant to do there. It didn't give way to that lady, and it was a little bit sketchy around.
I wonder why he didn't park it.
For the most part, it actually didn't do too badly. So we've got a U-turn coming up here. Actually, here's a school zone sign. Let's see what it does there. So it's a 60, and it's a school zone for a 40. It's just ignored that, so it tells me that it knows... It's either missed it completely or that it knows that it's not school time. We'll see how it does a U-turn here as well.
Let's meet in the middle. Okay, fair.
One of the other complications in Australia is that in New South Wales, and that's the state where Sydney is for anyone watching this internationally.
You can't do a U-turn at a set of lights, but in Brisbane you can.
You're not allowed to do any U-turns at intersections unless they're signposted. In Victoria, it's the opposite. You can do U-turns wherever you want unless it says no U-turn. I'm not 100% sure what the law is in Queensland. Here it says U-turn is permitted. Maybe they have the same rules as New South Wales. It is absolutely crazy that in Australia...
Wait, you're in Brisbane and you're driving and you don't know the rules? You've got a business in the city of Brisbane and you don't know the basic driving rules? Nah.
In different states, but it is unfortunately just
parking to be continued. Right on, MD.
Here and how it negotiates this U-turn. We've got plenty of room as well, so that shouldn't be a drama in terms of turning circle. But,
yeah, I want to see it do a 3-point turn.
If it does what a lot of Australians do in their tiny little cars, where they go to do a U-turn, but they think they're driving a B-double, so they sort of just swipe it all the way around and spin it around. Hopefully this will be a bit more accurate in terms of the way that it turns the car around. The other thing as well is when you are doing a U-turn, you have to give way to traffic that is coming out of that road that is turning onto this road. So there's no cars there at the moment, but I presume if there was cars there, it would know that it has to actually give way to those. Here we go, I've got a green arrow. Let's see how it negotiates this now. Okay, so it's following. Oh, it's funny, that's the driver we failed to give way to earlier. All right, there we go. Nice.
Pretty seamless.
All right, so basically our next stop is going to be back where we started at the start of the day. So I'm just going to let the car drive. When we get closer to there, I might do a bit of a wrap up and explain what my thoughts are on all of this technology based on the experiences I've had so far. Whoa, we have just chopped that motorbike. Hopefully he's not part of an outlawed motorcycle gang, because he might come and shoot us in a minute. Yeah, we really should have stopped for that motorcycle.
Definitely should have stopped.
But it didn't.
Wow.
And I hope he's not too annoyed. All right, we'll see. We'll see if he is annoyed, because he will probably pin it past us in a second. Let's see what happens.
That's how road rage is. That's how road rage starts.
All right, here we go.
Yep. And see?
All right, he didn't notice.
See, now that guy on the motorbike is pissed off.
And off he goes.
That's not, you shouldn't laugh at that, dude. You should not laugh at that, because that is literally how road rage is. That's the genesis of road rage. And what happens now? He goes ahead and speeds up into looks like they're going to a freeway, and potentially has an accident. And you caused it. Now, I know he's doing a test and it wasn't his fault, but I'm just saying, like, that's not a laughing matter, because people can die in those instances.
He is absolutely flying. All right. Okay, so we're 9 minutes away from returning the car back to where we started, and I thought I'd just wrap up with how this has gone and my impressions. I've got to be honest, I was quite apprehensive to start with, and no more apprehensive than I was when I rode in the Waymo. Once I rode in the Waymo, I was quite happy
Amrex,
with
do you live
how
in
it
Cairns,
worked.
and what do you think of Queensland? I don't live in
To a
Cairns.
degree,
I've been there.
I'm
I like
happy
it.
with how this works, but we did have a couple of those issues.
I do
where,
like it.
Like in the city near the office, it just completely tried to turn right from a left-hand turning lane. There was one instance where I don't think it really checked to see if there were cars coming. So I think there's still a bit of refinement that can be done. The good news to that is that the refinement is always
Queensland is more
being done to
tropical,
these
yeah,
systems,
fully.
and each software update includes
I love all the frogs and
that
all the
they've made during
wildlife up in the
development
tropics.
process. So,
Beautiful.
from that point of view, it's good. Do I feel safe behind the wheel? I do when I'm sitting here and I know that I can take control. But let's put yourself in the scenario where I'm sitting there and there's no one sitting here, or I'm on my laptop, and we encountered that scenario in the city where it turned
Well, first
right.
of all, car expert, you're not allowed to use a VDU while driving a motor vehicle in any part of Australia, VDU being a visual display unit. So you're not allowed to have a laptop or an iPad or a phone. You're not allowed to. So that's you're asking what ifs that don't exist.
Instead of turning left, and it went across traffic and a truck hit us. Like, yes, it would probably brake before the truck hit us, but this is all stuff that I don't want to take any chances on, and as a result of that, I wouldn't.
You shouldn't don't forget the fact that you're making a YouTube video from a moving vehicle. Like you're doing a review of something, and you're doing it while the thing that you're reviewing is doing the thing. Like you're driving in the city of Brisbane while shooting a YouTube video. Like, come on, man, give it some credit. What's going on here? You're actually like, yeah, this is phenomenal, right? Like, give it some respect.
Confident letting this do its thing unsupervised, and they're not doing that at the moment. This is very much stipulated as being supervised full self-driving. There's going to be a whole lot of law changes required before they can actually do unsupervised full self-driving. But you know, I am excited, genuinely excited for those times, because it means that at home I can have an old school V8 muscle car that I take out on weekends, but if I'm doing a boring, mundane commute that I'm doing every single day in conditions that are fairly predictable, it means that I can relax. And I genuinely actually feel pretty relaxed right now.
You should,
This hasn't been sort of taxing. I haven't had to worry about stuff as much. It's just been doing its own thing. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I'm curious to see what you guys...
Where did that car come from in the left?
Just being...
That car on the screen... There's a car on the screen in the left there. Where did that come from?
It hasn't been sort of taxing. I haven't had to worry about stuff as much. It's just been doing its own thing. So,
You guys catch that?
Yeah, that's...
There's no cars on the left there. Unless they're going in that turning lane.
Worry about stuff
Yeah,
as
sorry.
much.
You just can't. Sorry, my bad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lanes, and we're just not seeing that left-hand lane. Yeah, fair enough.
Just been doing its own thing. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you think that they've got this
Affiliate
right?
marketing,
Would you feel
yeah.
comfortable being behind the wheel here or sitting over there and letting the car drive? More importantly, would you be comfortable spending $10,000 on this? Because previously, you weren't able to transfer full self-driving like as an owner. It's stuck with the car, and they did change that recently.
I think 10 grand is reasonable. I think 10 grand for that tech is reasonable. I'm not in favour of a monthly subscription fee. Fuck no. But 10 grand up front.
Stuff as you go, and that would be important to me. If I'm spending 10 grand on it, I want it to come with me as I purchase another car. Given that it is software, all of these cars have the hardware to.
Yeah, exactly. Once you've bought this, you can change the vehicle and just turn the software on. Yeah.
Thing. So, I think they need to have a think about that as well. But
imagine that car navigating a drive up Mount Hutt ski field when it's snowing. Yeah.
I mean, we're doing everything else as a monthly subscription at the moment, so why would you not do a sort of
good point.
Thing as well? So,
very good point.
Yeah, keen for your feedback. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and I guess that's an indication of where it would not work. Like you need designated or very apparent line markings for it to, because it's using. Well, hang on a second. Do you though? Do you? Because it's using cameras to register things. It's not using LiDAR. It's using camera. So the camera should be able to spot that the road ends. And in the case of driving up Mount Hutt or any of the ski fields in New Zealand, the road doesn't just end, it drops off into a ravine or a valley. it'll still see that, right? And it'll still, I don't think that'll make a huge difference. I wouldn't want to be the one that tries it, but I don't think it would make a huge difference. Yeah. But hey, folks, thanks for being here with me on this stream. I'm stoked I don't have bowel cancer, mainly. That's the big takeaway from this one. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I got a few days of work coming up, so I'm working the weekend and I'll be away for a little while, but just know that I'll miss you. And when I come back, I'll love you. And yeah, I'm going to be just busy doing some stuff and got some shit going down and this and that. And when we come back, we'll all celebrate the good times and hang out some more. Thanks very much for hanging out with me on this stream today, and enjoy your Fridays or weekends, whatever it is, wherever you're doing whatever you're doing, enjoy yourselves, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers, all. Good night, peeps. We love you back. That's a bit loud.
Man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the site faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray.
That's way too
loud. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chilling IRL, catching all the rivers.